Hello guys, welcome to the fiction series. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto got harem with Tia, Nell, Soi Fon, Yoruichi. Part 4. If you want more awesome fan fiction like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, so without wasting any time let's get into the video. Nell once again charged Retsu. She had learned her lesson on holding back in a fight and it cost her dearly. She wasn't going to make that mistake again. Retsu on the other hand was having a hard time. Head to head Nell was stronger than her. She's holding back. I can feel it. Retsu thought to herself. She's strong. Nell thought to herself. Despite Retsu's belief, Nell was only holding back her next level of power. She was going all out in this form. They forced each other back and Nell had a small cut on her shoulder. Same with Retsu. Is there no other way to stop this unneeded fighting? Retsu asked. You could always just call it a day and leave. Nell said sarcastically. Retsu responded with her blade as she tried once again to defeat Nell. Captain Retsu now. Nell heard the laid-back captain yell. White. Then Retsu stabbed Nell in the gut. Nell was shocked. White lighting. Again Nell was shocked at such a weak attack did so much damage to her. She put some distance between them and her. How? Why was that so powerful? She asked. It's because of me. Nell looked behind her. It was Captain that she had thought she defeated. It's called Irini. Pick a color and that color is the only color you can hit. However, the amount of the color determines the amount of damage you can do. The weakest attack can be devastating. Shunsui explained. White. Nell's eyes widened as Shunsui did a single attack and it felt like she was hit by Naruto's zero. A dangerous ability indeed. She looked at the captain she was facing. The ability to increase damage, heal and reflect attacks. These three could beat almost anyone almost. White. Nell looked behind her and blocked a devastating attack that the third captain, that she thought she had beaten already, launched at her. Jashiro's blades hit her hard. She hit the ground and skidded a good distance. Why don't you give up? It'll save you and us the trouble of fighting. Shunsui asked her in a relaxed manner. Nell whipped the blood off her face. So, I pick a color and I can only hit that color, right? She asked with a smile. That's right. Shunsui said with a calm smile. Then I chose green. Green? Jashiro and Shunsui asked. Yep. She got behind them and then dumped green paint on each one. Ha 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 ha. You should see your faces. Nell was laughing at them. This got a tick mark from Jashiro. Jashiro flashed step behind Nell in order to attack her, aiming for her right shoulder. But when his small sword hit her it was deflected. What? This is a fun game. Nell said excitedly. But how? How did you deflect my attack without moving? Jashiro asked. Simple, I used the rules of the game to my advantage. She said. Then all three of them looked closer at Nell. Her white suit was turning green. Like her hair. Nowhere in the rules said that we can't change the color of our cloths. She said with a smile. Or force a change in the color of the other person's cloths. Bala. A quick bala hit Jashiro and he was forced back. She smiled. But how did you know how to counter my ability? Never in Shunsui's afterlife was one of his abilities turned on him so much. Naruto told me. But I never told him or used this on him. Shunsui would have remembered. Oh, I know, and so does he. But you didn't need to. Like I told Retsu once before. Naruto's power is beyond that of all of Nell looked behind her and blocked an attack from Retsu. But Retsu seemed stronger than she once was, far stronger than before. Where did she get this power? Or, was she holding back before? Nell was forced back. Retsu used flash step to get behind Nell and attack again. Nell blocked the attack again. Why are you attacking Captain Retsu? We need to retreat and think of another plan. Captain Jashiro said, getting up. You in mission mode, aren't you? Nell asked as she blocked another attack with her blade and was forced back and collided with many buildings. She still has some white on her, we can still win. She told them. Where is she wearing white? Jashiro asked. Her eyes. Retsu said calmly. Nell's eyes widened. It didn't matter if it was minimal damage, any attack to the eyes would be devastating. Well, I just have to end this now. Nell was building up a massive amount of spiritual pressure. What is she? Zero. Nell aimed at the ground and caused a smoke screen. Declare. Not good, stop her. Jashiro yelled. Amusa. She finished. This power, Captain Retsu said to herself. It's almost as powerful as head Captain Yamamoto when he is using his Shikai at full power. Retsu said to herself. Then Retsu remembered something. Her last attack she used before she left the battle. I barley haired. She said the words declare Gamuza then lands at her verdi. I didn't see what she threw, but whatever it is it's powerful as it went right through my ice defense. Be careful, she's powerful. She remembered Tashiro's words. Lands at her verdi. Then she saw it. Something spinning at them at incredible speed. Far away Naruto sensed this and then left. Captain Shunsui, Captain Jashiro, put all of your spiritual pressure into this next attack. Both nodded. Way of binding number 73 to Zansho. They all said at the same time. A massive blue pyramid shield stood between them and Nell's attack. Then they collided. It sounded like a big metal drill hitting a large metal wall. The sound was powerful and loud. Nell's attack and the captain's shield stood their ground, neither side giving an inch. Then finally Nell's attacks destroyed the shield, but bounced away. Nell caught it as it returned back into his Zanpakuto. Nell and the captains were breathing hard. Air. I can rejuvenate the other two, but I'll be exhausted myself. Thought Retsu. In a battle of endurance, she believed that they could win. Play a rancor theme. Alright, it's time to end this. Nell got up. She put her Zanpakuto in front of her face. Declare. Then she was stopped by a hand on her shoulder. It was Naruto. No, Nell. No need to fight any longer than you already have. Nell blushed, then looked away. Naruto then looked at the three captains Nell had just fought. Consider this fight your victory, as I will not have Nell fight any longer than this. But make no mistake, we'll be back tomorrow to save Rukia from her unjust fate. Naruto used Echo Flash to get them both to safety. End rancor theme. Shunsui breathed a sigh of relief. Man, to counter my ability so well and still be able to fight like that. And how did Naruto know of my ability? He asked the million-dollar question. I know, just short of you telling him or you using it on him, he would have never been able to tell Nell. Jashiro said. So how? Well, we know one thing from Nell, that is. She likes to attack with her strongest attack while in smoke cover. That could be useful to know. Now, it's time that you two get to my hospital. She gave them a big smile. This got a shiver from both of them. We're doomed. What was that, Shunsui? She asked. An aura of evil and pain surrounded her. We're in good hands. Yep, that's what I said. That's what I thought. But Naruto and Nell. Naruto and used Echo Flash to a small cave like the one Yoruichi and Ichigo are, just a little bit away from the rest. Complete with a hot spring and even a bed. Big enough for two. Why did you stop me, Naruto? Nell asked. He looked at her. Not once but twice you did it. I told you not to, you're not used to it yet. He told her sternly. I can handle it. She said. Nell, this is serious. Naruto pinned Nell to the wall with his hands. That power could kill you. You're tried right now, you used too much. Rest for now. Naruto put her to sleep. She was so calm, like she was before he restored her powers. Did I do the right thing? Giving her back her power at the price she has to pay now? He asked himself. I hope I did the right thing. He watched her sleep peacefully in bed. Captain's meeting. The captain's meeting was 6 members short. 5 in the hospital to recover, the last one dead. This room feels empty now. Jin said. How sad. He finished. Captain Retsu, what happened? Asked head Captain Yamamoto. We engaged the Hollow Nell as was ordered, but she proved very powerful indeed. She managed to handle all of us even with our Shikai. She was mostly unfazed by our attacks. Only when Shunsui used his Aruni and caught her by surprise, but even that was only temporary. As she countered that as well to a decree to make it useless for us and powerful for her. She explained to Yamamoto everything that had happened in the fight up to the part where Naruto stopped Nell. I see, how do you think they know of the accused new execution date? He asked her. Aside from him, she was the wisest of the captains. I truly cannot say. But I believe that Naruto is cunning enough to be under our noses and we not know it. If he did kill Aizen, then that would be proof enough. She said, not believing that Naruto killed Aizen at all. I see, thank you, rest up. When Naruto comes to stop justice, we will be there to stop him. He said. All of the remaining captains left. Retsu was still thinking on the words and things that Naruto said to and showed her. Was she just a tool used by some corrupted power? She was even starting to believe it. She was almost at her barracks when she felt someone nearby. You can come out now, I know you're back there. She said. Naruto stepped out from the shadows. Hello again, Retsu. How are you? Fine, I guess, but I'm wondering, did you kill Aizen? She asked. Would you believe me if I said no? Yes. That surprised Naruto. Well then no, I didn't kill Aizen. He said. She nodded. Then who did? She asked once more. If Naruto didn't kill him, there were only a handful that could. No one did. He said. He commented suicide. She looked shocked. No. But you just said that no one killed him. I know no one did. Then. We could talk about Aizen, but that's not why I'm here. Just one more question about Aizen and his death. How did he die if no one killed him and he didn't kill himself? She asked. I'll answer that before I leave you to your thoughts, as I want no more questions about Aizen when I answer your last one. Naruto said. She smiled. Then why are you here? She asked. I can feel your emotions, you are in turmoil. I can help if you let me. Clear a few things up if you will. And I'll even tell you a little about my power if you do." He smiled at her. She sighed. "Well, a few things have been troubling me. Maybe you can clear them up." Retsu looked more troubled than before. Here was, supposedly, a heartless killer and enemy of all Soul Reapers, and here she was confiding in him. "Well, I have been." She looked around to see if anyone was nearby. "Questioning my loyalty to the Soul Society and Central 46. Mostly based off what you have said. About Central 46 being corrupt with power. Then their decision on Rukia. What she did was against the law but not punished by death like her." Naruto nodded. "I guess you would. Tell me, what does the Soul Reaper Academy teach about hollows?" "That they are monsters that need to be destroyed at all costs," she said honestly. "I guess they would teach that misconception. For one, most hollows are like that, but some of the higher evolutionary tiers are not like that. But also," she followed her teachings. "You said that they are to be destroyed at all costs. Then to destroy that hollow that attacked Ichigo and his family, she gave him her powers. But he taking all of her power was not part of the plan, she was a victim of circumstance at that. So right, there is something that needs to be changed. She followed orders and her teachings and is now being punished for it. Do you know what would happen if a hollow were to eat a grand total of 2 captains and 1 vice captain level worth of spirit energy? It would become a Jillian in the middle of a city and eat to its greedy black heart's content. A lot, mind you." She was shocked at that and the words he used to say it. But his words really did was prove what she was thinking. That the Soul Society is just that, corrupt. "Now, what else is on your mind?" he asked, concerned. "I know why you hate the Soul Society," but Naruto looked at her as she was debating her new choice of words. "If I asked you if you would be cleansed, would you let me do so?" "No." Naruto replied instantly. "Why not?" "Because, the power I now have and the life I now live I could never obtain as a Soul Reaper. Soul Reapers are mindless drones in my opinion. They follow tradition at the cost of everyone and everything good that could come out of this plane of life. The people outside this place's walls are filled with people who suffer even in death. Maybe not all but most at least. Such a place should be filled with grass, gardens and beaches, with the smell of the ocean. This place is suffering with a mask. If I came here and not Wako Mundo, not only would I have eventually left this place, but I would have never been able to save and meet the people I now care about. That is why." Naruto gave his very long explanation. Retsu nodded in understanding. "I see." She didn't think it would work if she asked. But it didn't hurt either. "That's all I wanted to know. Now, you said would answer my question. Now answer it." She gave him a smile. The smile said, "Or else you'll spend the next 1000 years in my hospital with an ice pack on your groin area." Naruto had a few despair marks around him. Right, I did say that. Now then, how did Aizen die if he wasn't murdered or committed suicide? That was your question." She nodded. "Alright then, an answer. Who said he was dead?" Naruto flashed away before another question could be asked. Retsu's eyes widened. He wasn't dead. But she had his body on her table. He was dead. Or was he? She thought. With Naruto, he was running to where he put Nell. "Why did you tell her that?" He heard a voice in his head. "I told her because she would be the only one to listen." "Okay, I'll give you that one. But why bother with this cloak and dagger stuff anyway? Aizen is no match for you and both he and you know it. Just kill him and be done with it," the voice said again. "Because QB, there is nothing worse than to know a villain died a hero, while a hero is hunted like a villain. You and your sense of morality, kid. I'm going back to sleep. Wake me up for the show that will happen tomorrow." With the QB went back to sleep. "Good night QB," he thought. He left Retsu to ponder what he had said and the cryptic clues he and Nell had left. With Naruto in Nell's cave. "Nell, you up?" "Naruto." Nell jumped and hugged him to death, well death, but still nice all the same. "Hey Nell, you alright? You pushed yourself against 3 powerful captains?" he asked with concern in his voice. "Yeah, but why did you stop the battle? I could have taken them easily." "Yes I know, but you would have passed out. You're not ready to go full power yet Nell, trust me," he said, rubbing her hair. "I trust you. Now let's go to sleep." She tackled him to the bed and they both went to sleep. A while later Naruto woke up to Nell's cries. He snapped his eyes open to see what the problem was. Nell was on top of him crying. "Nell. What's wrong? Are you hurt?" he asked. "Do you like me?" she asked. Based on the look in her eye, Nell had been crying for a while. "Of course I do. Why wouldn't I?" Naruto asked. "Then would you? I mean," she then mumbled. "Never leave my side Naruto?" she asked. Naruto looked at her funny. "Don't worry Nell, I'll never let you go." Naruto and Nell lay quietly on the bed. "Nell, just so you know I could never hate you, never. Even if I change into a monster's figure, even if I were to forsake my humanity and become a monster. I'll never stop loving you." He kissed her forehead. "Naruto, about Yoruichi. Jealous are we?" Don't worry, I love you just as much as I love her. Naruto said, fingering her hair. I see. Nell did feel a little jealous. Besides, think of it. You were screaming my name when I was pounding you. Imagine me pounding you from behind while you eat her out. Or even she eats you out while. I get it. Nell yelled while blushing up a storm. Oh, and don't get me started. Yoruichi is a 2-for-1 deal. Eater eats Soi Fon out for free. Nell bopped him on his head playfully while also thinking of the same thing. Anyway, get some sleep, we have to save Rukia tomorrow and then we can worry about other things. But that they both went to sleep. Naruto woke up, it was still dark out, but he had enough of rest. He got up and looked around. He felt that soon Wonder Boy would be ready and Rukia's head would be on the chopping block. And our fight will happen soon, Yamamoto. Naruto looked up at the full moon. But Yamamoto. Yamamoto was also looking up at the moon. He knew that Naruto would show his face to him and neither would run away. It will be a fight to end all fights. The fight Yamamoto had been waiting for 800 years. As well as getting stronger for. The hollow 800 years ago that killed his 11 friends was far stronger than he was at that time. Now he too was stronger. I hope those young kids don't get in the way. It would be bothersome if they did. He said to himself. He had waited for this moment. The one time he could go all out, not hold back, and fight an opponent that he could say he might not be able to win. We'll soon see. He finished, he decided to go to bed. He saw his desk of paperwork that has been untouched for weeks. But he'd get to it afterward. But Naruto. Nell woke up. Hey Nell, go back to sleep. We have a big date tomorrow. She wrapped her arms around him. I know, but I got cold without you. Come back to bed. You need your rest too. She nuzzled her face into his back. Alright. Just, give me a moment. I'll be there, don't worry. He said. Nell kissed him on the cheek and then went back to bed. Naruto took one last look at the moon. Tomorrow. Then he too went back to bed. Next day. The sun was up. Soon, Rukia would be put to death for her crimes against the Soul Society. They all would be right in the world again, not. Ichigo, Naruto and the rest would never let that happen. Ichigo was finishing his training needed to achieve Bankai and Naruto was getting dressed. His Aranker-like outfit was put on, but then he noticed something. By hollow hole it's smaller. It was true. The hole could at one time fit a person's head in it. Now he maybe be able to put his hand in it. Why? He asked himself. The hollow hole's size was not the only thing that changed. He felt a little stronger too. He went to Nell to see if he was the only one. He wasn't, hers was smaller too. Smaller than his, but her hollow hole was always smaller than his. I'll solve it another day. He wiggled Nell awake. Nell, time to get up. We have work to do. He told her. Nell snapped her eyes open. Right. She yelled. Nell quickly dressed into her old Aranker outfit. But with a change that she didn't notice behind, she put it on. What's wrong, Nell? Naruto asked. Did this thing change when I wasn't looking? She asked. Well you see we were rough last night. I had to fix it. Naruto said nervously. The new Aranker shirt Nell has was sleeveless and it was cut to show a little of her stomach as the only real changes. I love it. Not I can fight without getting overheated. Then I won't have to take off my shirt when I'm hot, it's breathable. She said in a happy smile. Naruto was mentally kicking himself. Let's go Naruto. I want to see Rukia again. Nell was dragging him outside. Yeah I know, but first we have to find the others and spring them from jail. Naruto told her, then Nell stopped. Oh yay. How do we do that? She asked. By going in the front door and asking them to release our friends. Naruto smiled. Ahahahaha. Nell was laughing, hard. 5 minutes later. I still can't believe that worked. Yelled Nell as she was laughing and trying to keep her sides from splitting apart. Naruto. Did you really walk up to the person in charge of the prison we were in and ask to be let into your custody? Asked Chad, really not believing what Nell had told them. Yep. Whoever that guy was, he was too focused on his book then looking up at me. Naruto said with a smile. Remembering how it happened. You see, Naruto and Nell echo flashed to the jail that Chad and Uryu were held captive in. Naruto walked up to one guy at the counter and asked to let the humans be released under his custody. The guy not looking up at his little orange book said okay, and then Naruto filled out the forms and bam, Chad and Uryu were free men. Thank you Icha. Naruto said to himself. The group of 4 had been running to get to Rukia. It took longer because Uryu was slower for some reason. I no longer sense his power. It's not there anymore. It looks like he has lost it for some reason. Naruto said to himself. Naruto looked up. He saw a very big bird. That's some power. Naruto said to himself. Nell also felt it. It made her sweat a little. Chad, Uryu. Sorry but you need to go the rest of the way by yourselves. Nell, we have a friend in need of saving. The 3 of them nodded. Nell and Naruto used Echo Flash. Get there in time. The bird made of fire was already about to attack Rukia. We won't make it. At the execution grounds everyone watched the Sakyoku go to its released form. A power form with a destructive power of over 1 million Zanpakuto. Normally this would be reserved for a captain class traitor, not a minor one like Rukia. Don't have such a sad look on your face Nanao. The captain with a laid-back manner said to his vice captain. The Sakyoku charged at Rukia. She had long since accepted her fate. She closed her eyes and waited for the nothingness that was to come. But it never did. On the ground everyone saw the Sakyoku in its released form go in for the kill. Then it stopped. Naruto and Nell just got there as it was stopped. Naruto looked up to see Ichigo, all banged up and covered in bandages from head to toe. Yo, he said casually as he just stopped one of the strongest forces in the Soul Society. How have you been Rukia? He asked. Naruto noticed something different about Ichigo as well. To become so strong in such a short amount of time. Naruto began. He'd be as strong if not stronger than me in 1,000 years or so. Naruto smiled. He lived by many sayings. One of them was something he felt all the time. It is lonely at the top. The Sakyoku roared as it charged again for another assault. Oh no you don't. Naruto again used Echo Flash to get in the way. Ichigo was having a wonderful day today. He got his ass beat more times than he believed was possible. He had heard that his friend Chad was captured along with Uryu, who was okay in his book, then that Rukia was going to get killed that afternoon. The good news began when he got there just in time to save Rukia from the stupid bird thing. You idiot. Why did you come back here? My brother is going to kill you. Don't you even care? So? I came here to rescue you. Moron, she said quietly. Whoa. Ichigo lost his balance when the bird stopped trying to get through his Zanpakuto. He turned around to see the firebird preparing for another attack. Trying for another attack are ya? Ichigo noticed. Well bring it on. Ichigo stopped. He stopped when Naruto appeared before him. Whoa. Naruto. You're here? He asked. Sure Wonder Boy. I said that I'd help you save Rukia didn't I? He smiled. Bird roar. Naruto looked back at the bird, it was charging again. On the ground head Captain Commander smiled. Although slightly mad that he wouldn't kill Naruto himself. As long as Naruto died he'd be happy. Naruto held out his hand and the bird hit him. Another smirk was shown on Yamamoto's face. Then it fell when the fire was reduced to nothing. Up with Naruto, Ichigo and Rukia. Naruto had held the monster of power at bay with his hand. It was shown on his face that he was having slight difficulty. I feel your pain forever to suffer at the hands of these fools. Naruto said out of the blue. Hey Naruto, who are you talking to? Ichigo asked. The Sakyoku Ichigo. She is in pain. She is forced to suffer forever punishing the innocent and sparing the guilty her wrath. I will put you out of your pain my friend. Naruto forced a lot of power out of himself, black-colored tendril-like tentacles encircled the Sakyoku in its released form. The Sakyoku roared as it was being destroyed. On the ground no one believed their eyes. The Sakyoku was losing power. With the Sakyoku completely encircled Naruto pulled hard on them with a snap, the Sakyoku roared one last time before it returned to its sealed state and it was broken. That's impossible. Soi Fon was at a loss for words. First the human stopped it with just one Zanpakuto, then he manages to destroy it. She was shocked beyond anything she could comprehend. So in the end, it was them that saved the day. Shunsui said with a bit of amazement. Well that's one way to start the day. Naruto turned to Ichigo. Dude. What the hell are you staring at? Get Rukia. Oh. Right. Naruto sighed. Ichigo got on the pillar that Rukia was tied to. He grabbed the bandages on his Zangetsu. It's about time he used that. Naruto said to himself. He felt eyes on him and not in the good way. He looked down, he saw two sets of eyes that held contempt for him. The lesser of the two was Soi Fon. She was glaring at him like he was evil, perverted, and that he had violated her privacy. Okay, so he did do that and he was a pervert. But he knew where to stop. But he sure as hell wasn't evil mostly. However, the other set of eyes that held contempt for him was Yamamoto. He knew why too. You fool. Those are captains and vice captains down there. You'll never get away from them. Rukia again tried to get Ichigo to leave her to her fate. Shut up. I don't care. I'm going to save you. Like it or not. Ichigo said to Rukia. Idiot, I'm not going to say thank you. She muttered. I don't care. I'm going to save you Rukia, I told you that. Rukia. Naruto, Ichigo and Rukia looked to the ground and to their left. It was Renji, he was tried. Well, I didn't expect to see any other Soul Reapers here. Naruto stated. Hey Renji. Ichigo yelled. Naruto looked back and saw Ichigo lift Rukia up above his head. What's he? No, he smirked. Huh? Hey Ichigo, wait. Renji yelled when he realized what Ichigo was going to do. Hatch. You moron. Renji yelled as he tried to follow Rukia as she was hurtling down to the ground. What felt like minutes was only a few seconds as Renji managed to catch Rukia. What the hell, Ichigo? She could have died. Ichigo. You ass. Rukia was crying because of her new death experience. Nice Ichigo, you should try out for baseball. Naruto said, looking at how far Ichigo had thrown Rukia. Oh. Ichigo yelled at them. Huh? Oh. I'll hold them off while you get away with Rukia. Ichigo yelled again. He's right. Go Renji, we'll hold them off, you just get in the way. Naruto told him while eyeing Yamamoto. And Yamamoto was eyeing him. Naruto levitated slowly to the ground. What are you waiting for? All vice captains follow them. Soi Fon ordered. Hey Ichigo, they're only vice captains. Can you handle them? Naruto asked as he didn't bother looking at them. No problem. Ichigo stopped in front of them so Renji and Rukia could escape. Naruto knew that they would be no challenge to him. He landed a bit away from Yamamoto. Anyone and everyone could feel the anger, the tension, the very fabric of hate could be seen between them. Naruto looked in front of him and Yamamoto. It was Soi Fon. Hey there little bee. How are you this fine day? He asked with a smile. I'm going to enjoy this. She said, getting her Zanpakuto unsheathed. Yay, so am I. He said as she disappeared. As someone tackled her. Naruto looked to his right as Yoruichi took Soi Fon so they could have a little heart-to-heart talk. With lots of things blowing up and lots of catfight sounds. He smiled as he looked at Yamamoto. Well old man, let's have it out, shall we? Naruto asked as he floated in the air and to the center of the Sirte. Yamamoto flashed step and was 20 or so yards in front of him. Both staring at each other. This is where it ends, old man. Naruto drew his Zanpakuto. I agree. Naruto Uzumaki Yamamoto also pulled his Zanpakuto from his cane. Reduce all creation to ash. Yamamoto's Zanpakuto turned into a mass of fire and heat. The power coming off him was staggering. So the old man is getting serious. You think that your friend Naruto can handle him, Nell? Jishiro asked Nell. Sipping some tea with Nell and Shunsui. Nell was standing behind them also sipping tea. I've seen Naruto do things that no one else could do. I've told Retsu once before, against Naruto all plans are useless. Nell took one more sip of her tea. Sorry but I have to go, I need to find NaruHarem. I miss her. Nell echoed flash away. I so need to learn that. Jishiro said. I see your Shikai. Naruto built up his own spiritual pressure. Now I'll show you mine. Devastate and despair forbidden angel. Naruto unleashed his forbidden angel. However Naruto reached for his face. Then in a wizard-like fashion has put his mask on. It was his fox skull mask. Top part of the fox skull was on the top of his head and the skull fox jaw on his jaw. His mouth and nose was covered in a Kakashi-like mask. The mask also covered his neck and shoulders. I'm ready. Naruto said in a deeper, but not by much, voice. So, are you ready to submit yourself to justice? Yamamoto asked. Justice? Please, you wouldn't know justice if it reached up and bitch slapped you in the face. Your justice isn't my justice. Naruto said to him. Nonsense. This is no such thing as individual justice. No one's justice can be above the world's justice. Old man Yamamoto said. Arrogance, old man. Such arrogance, there is no such thing as true world justice. Your justice is my injustice. That is the world we live in, old man. Face it, live or die with it. But the time for talking is over, old man. I agree. Yamamoto gathered even more of his power. I will kill you. And lay to rest the spirits of my dead friends that you killed so long ago. Then come. Play Treachery Bleach Movie 2 soundtrack. Dikaku Enjo. Yamamoto launched the first attack. Naruto was surrounded by fire. There, that'll hold you for a while. You forget, old man. Just who I am. Devastation. Naruto yelled, raising his Zanpakuto in the air. Forbidden Angel began to absorb the fire around Naruto. What? Did you forget? I can absorb the power of any non-physical attacks. And send them right back. Despair. Naruto sent a red energy blade at Yamamoto. Yamamoto dodged it without trouble. Zero blade. Naruto launched more zeros at the old head captain. Wave destruction. Blue firefall. The two attacks collided between the two combatants. Yamamoto used flash step to get behind Naruto. Tamatsu. Naruto looked behind him again, instead of trying to absorb the attack Naruto dodged it. You'll have to do better than that. Zero. A zero formed from the mouth of Naruto's fox mask. Naruto fired the powerful and fast zero. Yamamoto managed to dodge it but barely as it skinned his arm. But many lesser soul reapers were not so lucky to get away from the shockwave explosion when it hit the ground. Killing some and wounding many others. I will stop you, Hollow. Once and for all. The head captain swung his blade of fire a few times, creating waves of fire, all heading for Naruto. Naruto stood still as the fire came at him. With Nell. Nell was heading toward Yashiro's compound. He told her that NaruHarem was being protected by his 2/3 seats. Somehow or another he convinced her to stay there to be safe from harm after she healed his sickness. She was running as fast as she could to get to NaruHarem. She also felt protective of her just like Naruto. Although Naruto said he knew why, she didn't. There was something about NaruHarem that made her want to protect her. She turned a corner and hit something. "Oi," Nell said, rubbing her head. "Captain, are you alright?" a concerned female voice asked. "Ow, damn it, watch where you're going, will ya?" Nell looked to see who she ran into. As did the captain that she ran into. "It's the kitty captain," she yelled. This again got a tick mark from Toshiro and a giggle from Ranjiku. "I told you I'm not a kitty captain," Toshiro said, barely restraining his anger. "Yes you are." Nell pinched both of Toshiro's cheeks and started to stretch his face. "Just look at this cute little face," Nell said as a mother would say to her baby. Toshiro wrestled control for his face and won. Ranjiku would never let him live this down. She was laughing so hard she was holding her sides. But it stopped, or it took a moment to see just who they were paling around with. Nell. "Yep. Nell, former third espada of the Arankar army," she said happily. "We don't have to fight now, do we?" she asked. "I don't want to fight any more than I have to. I don't enjoy it," she said. "You enjoyed it plenty when you were facing me," Toshiro said. "But who wouldn't when facing such a cute captain?" she said, pinching his cheeks again. Toshiro slapped her hands away from his face. "Stop that." Nell and Ranjiku laughed. "What are you doing here, Nell?" The atmosphere became serious. "Did it just get cold here?" "No. It's just me," Nell asked jokingly. "Stop joking." "Fine, no wonder Ranjiku is so playful. Someone has to be. Anyway, I'm looking for my friend NaruHarem. I haven't seen her since we got here and I miss her." "There, happy. Now why are you here and not trying to kill Naruto?" she asked. Seeing as for their time in the Soul Society has been nothing but fights with one other thing. Toshiro didn't answer at first. "I get it," Nell said. She seemed serious. Then she hugged Toshiro's head in her bust. "You came all this way to see little old me. I think I know why too. And I accept. I'll be your mother, my little white dragon," she said in a manner that screamed cute. Toshiro was flailing around trying to get out of a pair of Ranjiku-sized beep. Ranjiku just laughed at her captain's situation. Toshiro fought tooth and nail and finally got out from Nell's grip. "I said stop that," he said while blushing. "It's like I found Ranjiku's long-lost twin sister," he yelled in his head. There was a loud explosion and everyone looked up. The fire lit up the sky and it was vast. Naruto was fighting Yamamoto. "That guy stands no chance against head captain Yamamoto," Ranjiku said. "Wrong." Both Ranjiku and Toshiro looked at Nell. "Naruto won't lose to anyone like Yamamoto. Besides, no matter what the old guy does, he can't kill Naruto," she said confidently. "What makes you so sure that Naruto will win and live?" Toshiro asked. Unnerved by Nell's seemingly unwavering faith that Naruto will win. She turned and smiled at them. "Because only Naruto's tear can kill him," she said in a riddle cryptic manner. "Not another riddle. But hey, wait. Why did you just give us the key to helping us defeat Naruto?" Toshiro asked, confused. She again looked at them. "Because all planning is useless against Naruto. It doesn't matter if you had his tear, you would never know how to kill him with it. Anyway, speaking of riddles, did you figure out who made the Arankar army yet?" she asked, smiling. Toshiro blinked. "Oh man, I completely forgot about that," he yelled. "Wow, you must suck at riddles." "It's the riddle you gave." Nell looked at Ranjiku. "No one has more or less eyes than any other. And no one smiles forever," she told her. Nell tilted her head. She reached into a packet and pulled out a pair of glasses and put them on. Toshiro and Ranjiku were lost at her reaction. Then Nell gave a big Grinch-like grin, then covered her eyes. Ranjiku was still lost. Toshiro's eyes widened. A few faces came to mind. The one with the most eyes, a mental picture of Aizen, came to mind. The one with the least eyes, a mental picture of Tosen, came to mind. And the one with the forever smile, a mental picture of Jin, popped up. "Ranjiku. We have to get to Central 46 now. And stop this meaningless fighting." He ran in the direction of Central 46. Ranjiku close behind him. Nell watched the two run as fast as they could. Well, at least they got it. Nell continued her search. Back with Naruto. Yamamoto was across from the massive explosion. That should finish him, the head captain said to himself. Everyone, who was not fighting, looked up, waiting to see if the enemy was done for. "It's over," he said again. Only to have a Zero fired at him with speed he never saw before. He managed to dodge it, but it skinned him enough on his left shoulder to draw blood. "All old man." Yamamoto looked up to see Naruto. His white armor looked a little burned, but he was otherwise alright. "Not possible, I hit you, I saw it myself." "I know. But it's what you can't see that it hurting you. Not that I'll tell you. Naruto gave a small grin. He could hear Forbidden Angel yelling at him to use Bankai. Yamamoto looked at Naruto with a scowl. Then his eyes widened. I see you've noticed that not only has my mask made a type of armor around me, but the air around me is also dense in spirit energy. Naruto confirmed what Yamamoto felt. My defense has 3 layers when in this form. The first is the air, then my armor is second, and finally my skin itself is my last line of defense. So only the strongest of attacks can breach it. Gran Ray Zero. Naruto fired a powerful Zero at the head captain. Way of binding. Severing void. The head captain protected himself with a shield. The Gran Ray Zero hit the shield and at first nothing happened. Yamamoto was struggling to hold up the barrier, soon hairline cracks were forming on his barrier. He was losing this face-off. The barrier broke and Yamamoto was hit by Naruto's Gran Ray Zero and hurtled to the ground with a massive explosion. The dome of fire made a part of the Sirte wasteland. Can it be that easy? He asked himself. Naruto felt a buildup in spirit energy. Guess not. Way of binding. 9 daylight bonds. Naruto went wide-eyed when he suddenly felt constricted. 8 black holes surrounded Naruto and serial-wide beams of light connected to his chest. This won't hold me forever, old man. Naruto yelled as he struggled to get out of the binding spell. Not forever, just long enough for this. Way of destruction. Lone blade cremation. Yamamoto yelled as he unleashed one of his strongest attacks at Naruto. Naruto struggled more so now than ever, but it was too late as he saw the red tip of a blade coming at him. Unable to move, he put all of his power into his protection to defend himself. Ah. Pain. For the first time in about 1,000 years he felt true pain. Everyone that knew him, or somewhat knew him, looked at him as he screamed. NaruHarem and Nell's world seemed to stop. Naruto seemed so untouchable no one could have even put a scratch on him, and yet. Ah. Naruto's armor that his mask made shattered. His rancor-like cloths were tattered and mostly ruined. Only his mask remained, but the part that covered his right eye and his right side of his head was gone. And he was bleeding. He yelled in pain when he hit the ground at a 45-degree angle behind him. Yamamoto was breathing heavily. It's over then. An even greater build-up of spiritual power, greater than his own, came from the rubble of where Naruto landed. Then something covered in black energy shot out of the rubble and hit the head captain. Ugh. Head Captain Yamamoto was launched a few yards away from the black energy-encased being. It can't be. Naruto was now fully recovered and his mask fully repaired and even starting to cover most of his body in armor again. I never thought you'd bring this out of me. I've never had to use this on one man before. Honored Naruto built up even more spiritual pressors. Bankai, that one word echoed throughout the Soul Society. 4 black energy beams twisted as it was absorbed by Naruto's Forbidden Angel to go into Bankai mode. Naruto's Shikai dispersed in black energy and started to reform around Naruto's right hand. It started to form black crystals around his hand from his wrist to about 4 inches past his fingers. I'd never thought I had to use this. The black energy seemed to come from nothing. It was pitch black, formed from complete darkness. Darkness blade. Naruto swung his blade slowly downward. A black blade of energy dashed at Yamamoto. Yamamoto barely dodged it, but he was still cut into by an invisible force, but he shrugged it off. Both powerful and seemingly immortal beings of power used Flash Step and Echo Flash to close the gap between each other. Their 2 blades collided with each other. The black energy of darkness surrounded Naruto, while the red energy of fire surrounded Yamamoto. Each one fighting to overpower the other. But Naruto's power proved to be stronger than Yamamoto's, and Yamamoto was forced back. Yamamoto flew back far away from the place that he and Naruto clashed. But Naruto was on him in a second. Demetsu. The fire consumed Naruto, but Naruto went right through it like it was nothing but a calm breeze. Then did one powerful slash across Yamamoto's chest. Yamamoto felt his power dropping. He felt weak. He hadn't felt like this in almost 800 years since he became the head captain. I will not lose to you, Uzumaki. He built up massive amounts of spiritual pressure. Flames of hell. Massive pillars of flames erupted around the Sirte. The only place that wasn't in the line of fire, no pun intended, was the 4th barracks. Where everyone who wasn't fighting was at to be as safe as possible. All of the vice captains and captains, save for a few, and NaruHarem and Nell, were there holding up a barrier, the strongest they could muster to protect against this all-powerful attack. Is Naruto going to be alright? NaruHarem asked. She was worried for his safety. Not sure. That's old man Yamamoto's strongest attack. Naruto might get killed. Jashiro answered NaruHarem's question. Oh please. Nell snorted in an unladylike manner. Like I said to Captain Retsu when we first met face to face. Against the power that Naruto has, all planning is meaningless. Naruto isn't even going all out yet. This got shocked looks from all of the Soul Reapers. Using Flash Step he got behind Naruto and bear hugged him. You and I will burn together in hell. Naruto spared a look to Yamamoto. Then looked at the flame pillars that were coming for him. You forget, old man, I don't give up, this little light show is nothing my power. He blew back Yamamoto with sheer force alone, then raised his Bankai blade in the air. Eclipse Maelstrom. Darkness, the feeling of utter despair, regret, and powerlessness. That is what everyone felt when Naruto called out his next attack. Black winds flowed around Naruto's Bankai blade. The black winds were calm at first, and then turned into a true raging storm, or maelstrom. The black vortex of darkness collided with the fire pillars. Everyone watched in fascination, awe and fear. None more so than Yamamoto. The power of Yamamoto's flames was snuffed out by the power of Naruto's black storm. When the storm subsided, there was nothing around Naruto. All of the buildings that were near Naruto when he did his attack just vanished. Yamamoto looked utterly shocked. Naruto pointed his Bankai at the head captain. Terasiro. A giant-sized black zero emanated from the tip. Then it fired just as fast. Yamamoto had little to no time to think. Way of binding. Tazansho. A blue inverted pyramid surrounded Yamamoto. That won't work, old man. The Terasiro went right past it as it wasn't even there. Yamamoto had enough time to look shocked before he was hit with the Terasiro. The once blue inverted pyramid became black, then shattered from the inside. A massive shockwave came from the epicenter of devastation that was Naruto's attack. Then Treachery Bleach Movie 2 soundtrack. Terasiro, the most dangerous zero in this world, it is not only unblockable, but it bypasses any and all defenses to hit its target. You either avoid it or shoot something stronger at it. That simple, old man. Then it's a good thing I avoided it. Naruto turned around when he felt Yamamoto behind him. Ikatsu. Naruto put up his other hand, but the old man's attack hit home. Naruto was hit so hard he was sent back to the execution site. The force of his impact was so great it destroyed the site utterly. Rubble piled up on Naruto as Yamamoto waited for him to show up. He wasn't disappointed as Naruto shot forward and attacks Yamamoto. The old head captain dodged and flashed step away from Naruto. I won't bother asking how you did it, Naruto stated. Let's just move on. Yes, you are a worthy opponent, Naruto Uzumaki. As are you, head captain Yamamoto. At this end now. Yamamoto's spiritual pressure built up to unfathomable heights. Anyone and everyone felt it. A power that they have never felt in their entire existence. Blaze and burn with the fury of 1000 suns, ancient Sun King. Ban everyone but Naruto froze Kai. Play White Knight Chronicles, ancient heartbeat king of the sun. Yamamoto was covered from head to toe with white hot flames. The intensity of the heat was getting to everyone, aside from Naruto. He only sweat a bit from the heat, even the ones behind the barrier that was supposed to keep all of the loose spiritual pressure from them. Even behind Naruto's mask armor he felt the heat. He knew the old man let loose his greatest and most terrible power. The true ability to turn all creation to ash. It took a few more minutes, but the fire died down enough for people to look at head captain Yamamoto. He was literally on fire. The lower half of him was gone, and nothing but flames was seen. Naruto could see the old man's muscular arms, the old man's body and his head. But he was nothing but fire. The fire behind the old man rages as if a wildfire being fed by raging winds. Overall, the head captain has become a giant blazing fireball with an upper body. This is my Bankai. You're the first one to face it. And soon to be the last. Yamamoto said in a voice a little different from his own, but his tone could still be heard. Then Yamamoto appeared in front of Naruto. This time it was Naruto's turn to go wide-eyed. Ikatsu. Naruto put up his left hand to block, but it was pointless. The force of the attack was enough to almost shatter what was left of Naruto's armor and sent him flying. But Naruto was not given any time to relax as Yamamoto was behind him as Naruto arrived at the other end of the Sirte. Ikatsu. With another flaming punch, Naruto was again sent flying. Some of his armor breaking off. With Nell and NaruHarem. Naruto NaruHarem said with fear and concern. I've never seen Naruto. Nell was in shock and fear. Is it possible that Naruto can lose? I've never seen the old man use his Bankai. Shunsui said while shaking a bit. Never had the old man used his Bankai. And such a frightening Bankai it is. Naruto, he can't lose, he said he won't. He promised that we'll all go back home together. NaruHarem said while having tears in her eyes. Back with the fight. Ikatsu. Yamamoto hit Naruto in his head. This sent him flying to the center of the Sirte. Yamamoto was there waiting for him. It's over. Sakatsu. Yamamoto hit Naruto to the ground. End White Knight Chronicles, ancient heartbeat king of the sun. Pain. Naruto has felt it before. Just not in a very long time and never to this extent. In fact, he hasn't felt any pain in over 1000 years, so his pain threshold has lessened considerably. It hurts to move anything. Naruto said to himself in a weak voice. I never thought that this old man would be so strong. But then again, I always knew he could do what so many others had tried. I won't allow you to recover, this is thy end. Yamamoto raised his right arm high into the air. He was honorable, but he would not let his honor endanger the Soul Society. Divine Sword. Phoenix Saber. A massive blade of fire. It was at least 30 feet high. This one moment, I've waited and trained for this one moment for 800 years. Now die Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto looked up, unable to move because of Yamamoto's attacks. I should have used my Resurrection and Naruto looked helplessly at the fire attack. Santen Kessen. I reject. The shield was put in front of Naruto and Yamamoto's oncoming attack. Soten Kissen. I reject. Naruto looked up in front of him to see NaruHarem. He thought that she was nowhere near here. But he also saw Nell next to her. Yamamoto was furious that his most powerful attack was stopped by a mere shield. Naruto felt his power come back to him. NaruHarem was healing him, she did get better with her healing abilities. Yamamoto looked to where the shield came from. A girl. A human girl. She managed to stop 800 years worth of training with a mere barrier. The mere thought of it made Yamamoto's blood boil. I'll deal with you two first. The head captain appeared in front of both Nell and NaruHarem in an instant. Both girls and Naruto were shocked. Dragon fire. Yamamoto was aiming for NaruHarem. No. Aw. Nell. NaruHarem yelled as Nell took the hit for her. A large gash formed from Nell's left shoulder to mid-torso. Now for you. Darkness Blade. Huh? Naruto attacked from behind and managed to force Yamamoto away from NaruHarem. Thank you NaruHarem. Naruto managed to pant out. Look after Nell. And no matter what happens. Please don't think anything less of me. NaruHarem was confused about what he just said. But nodded as NaruHarem ran to heal Nell who was badly wounded. Naruto was enraged. No, beyond that. He had no words to describe what he felt for Yamamoto right now. I've held back my full power for too long, it's time to release it. Naruto said to himself. Both Naruto and Yamamoto met once more hovering above a near destroyed Sirte. The place was little more than ruins now. I wasn't going to kill you Yamamoto, but now Naruto raised his left hand to the back of his left shoulder. Naruto's second Zanpakuto came from it. It was the red hilt one, the one he never used before. I will destroy you before you can do such a thing. Too late old man. Naruto built up his final amount of his spirit energy. Behind the barrier or not. Yamamoto or not. Everyone was stopped in their tracks. Naruto pulled his red Zanpakuto and threw it up into the air. There it hovered. The light of the sun reflected off the blade. Then thunderstorm clouds formed suddenly. The sun became eclipsed and it was as if it was night. The clouds covered Naruto's Zanpakuto. Yamamoto wanted to move. He wanted to stop Naruto, but he couldn't. Descend from the corrupted heavens fallen goddess QB. Naruto's Zanpakuto descended slowly from the clouds, then fell at high speeds and stabbed Naruto in his heart. Black and red spirit energy started to form around Naruto as he was going to release his ultimate form. Play Bleach AMV Yami, Stark, Barrigan, Hannibal the Sorcerer Remix. Meet my turn form. Naruto was engulfed in black spirit energy. Everyone watches a feeling of great power was coming from the black mass. The black spirit energy had a red tint to it. Yamamoto felt this only one other time in his life. The first thing to appear from the black mass were a pair of hands. They were powerful looking and claw-like. There was also some sort of hole that rose from the back of the hand. Then a black blade came from both of these holes. Like Naruto's Bankai. The next were a pair of feet. No shoes or any of the short, the toes were clawed, similar to Ichigo hollow form. From there the body. It was covered from top to bottom in armor. The armor was thick and heavy looking. Then finally the head was revealed. Teeth. Sharp teeth like that of the QB big eye holes formed Naruto's eyes could be seen. But instead of blue eyes like his friends are used to, they were red and silted like a fox. 2 horns shot straight back from the top of his head and 2 more on each side of his mouth forming tusks. But Naruto's transformation was not done yet. 9 black energy beams shot out of Naruto's lower back, forming 9 tails. But not a fox's tails. Each tail was long and sinister looking. A xenomorph warrior tail. Topped off with a spike for good measure. And finally on each tail was a hole. Then Bleach AMV Yami, Stark, Barrigan, Hannibal the Sorcerer Remix. Play Evil Techno Sanctuary of Rebirth. Time seemed to end for everyone, Yamamoto most of all. Yamamoto felt like he was going to die. He looked into Naruto's red hollow eyes. Then Naruto vanished. Huh? 5 claw marks formed on Yamamoto's flame body. He felt it and he felt like he was bleeding. My fire armor. My power is beyond that of your pathetic little fire armor. There is a reason that I'm the majesty vast O Lord forsaken of this world. Naruto's voice was void of all the good that was once his own. But there is no reason to talk anymore. This is your last night you will see. This was true. The sun was long gone and the moon had taken over. Naruto pointed one of his clawed fingers at Yamamoto. Black Zero. The black beam fired so fast there was no time to think of any form of escaping. The Zero hit dead on. Ah. Yamamoto screamed as the power of Naruto's greatest form overwhelmed him. All of the other fights had long since ended. Ichigo was wounded on the ground near where he fought the sixth captain. He watched in awe and fear at the power Naruto wields. Yoruichi and Soi Fon were with the rest of the group at the fourth barracks. Yoruichi wondering if this is what Naruto meant when he said that his very existence is a treat to the existence of all others. But she was more afraid of Naruto losing the kind part of himself. The part of him that Yoruichi likes to tease. "Is that all you got?" Naruto in his demonic voice asked. "I guess it is then, let me end you with this." Yamamoto was not going to let Naruto do anything more to him. Dragon fire. Yamamoto's fire came at Naruto at extreme speeds. But was snuffed out by an invisible force. Such a weak attack, old man. Naruto held out his hands. Then closed them. Chains of fear. A dozen small black portals formed around Yamamoto and chains of darkness chained Yamamoto in black. Even his fire was useless against them. While Yamamoto was blazing hot, these chains seemed to snuff out the heat and cool him down. "Time to die, old man," one of Naruto's tails slowly pointed to Yamamoto. Naruto grinned, if only other people could see it. "Show me your courage, I'll show you fear." Zero of fear. A black zero formed with a symbol of fear inside it. "Show me your friendship, I'll show you loneliness." Zero of loneliness. A black zero formed with the symbol of loneliness inside it. "Show me your love, I'll show you hate." Zero of hate. A black zero formed with the symbol of hate inside it. "Show me your knowledge, I'll show you uncertainty." Zero of uncertainty. A black zero formed with the symbol of uncertainty inside it. "Show me your sincerity, I'll show you selflessness." Zero of selflessness. A black zero formed with the symbol of selflessness inside it. "Show me your reliability, I'll show you illusion." Zero of betrayal. A black zero formed with the symbol of betrayal inside it. "Show me your kindness, I'll show you cruelty." Zero of cruelty. A black zero formed with the symbol of cruelty inside it. "Show me your hope, I'll show you hopelessness." Zero of hopelessness. A black zero formed with the symbol of hopelessness inside it. "Show me your light, I'll show you darkness." Zero of darkness. A black zero formed with the symbol of darkness inside it. Each tail with each different zero pointed inward and a new zero formed at the end of Naruto's tusks. Combined they form a zero more powerful than any other. All of the zeros formed into one. Zero of evil. The zero fired a black wave of nothingness and evil. Head Captain Yamamoto closed his eyes. He knew if he dodged others would take the hit. He let the zero hit him without trying to escape. Ah! The scream could be heard all over the Soul Society. The scream that felt like forever ended soon after it started. The explosion silenced the screaming and smoke was coming from where the head captain once was. Something fell towards the group at Barrack 4. Landing in the courtyard of the 4th barrack was head captain Yamamoto. His broken sword near him and he was in his normal form again. He was covered in his own blood, he had lost. A few of the officers of the 4th squad ran to help him. But something landed in the courtyard as well and the force of the shockwave blew them away from the old man. The clawed foot of Naruto stepped on Yamamoto's head. Both of Naruto's Bankai blades on his hands pointed at the old man's head. "So I have lost," Yamamoto stated more than asked. "It shames me that someone who has lost his mind to his own power, a mindless beast such as yourself beat me. And evil techno sanctuary of rebirth." The black zero formed at the end of Naruto's tusks. "Showing no mercy. Just like a true hollow. You said that you have grown past such a state. This just proves that you are just a mindless monster. Just like 800 years ago and now." Yamamoto told Naruto as he was forming the zero bigger and bigger. Nearby Harem, Nell and Yoruichi watched in horror at what Naruto had become. Harem more so because this was just like how her brother Sora turned out. Naruto had become something he's not. She had tears in her eyes. Is this what he meant? Please don't think anything less of me. She didn't get those words at the time. But. Harem ran to Naruto. Harem, no. Naruto, you've got to stop right now. Harem yelled as she ran to him. Naruto's zero dissipated as he looked at Harem. She say not the kind and loving blue she's used to, but the unforgiving and hateful red that is this thing that was not Naruto. She latched onto his arm. You won, Naruto. He's defeated. This isn't like you. You've got to stop. Although Harem was frightened by Naruto's appearance, she was sure without a doubt that he wouldn't hurt her. A long moment passed by. Then a bright blue glow surrounded Harem. The glow died down and Harem saw the blue's eyes once again. Huh? Harem? What's wrong? Naruto felt that his foot was on something so he checked. He saw Yamamoto all banged up. Then he remembered his fight with him. Naruto had a headache. You girl, why? Yamamoto asked, still prone and still on the ground. Harem looked confused. Why what? Why did you save me? You could have let him kill me and cripple the Soul Society. Why did you save my life? He asked. Because, we came here to save a friend. Not kill people. She gave her smile that warms hearts in almost everyone man. Yamamoto was no different. You're not a bad person, we just needed you out of the way to save Rukia. She told him. The old captain nodded. NaruHarem, Nell and Yoruichi helped Naruto up. Thanks girls. Naruto said with a smile. Yamamoto looked at the smile that Naruto was giving. It's not one of intent to kill or manipulate. He truly cares for them. I was wrong. I'm sorry Naruto Uzumaki, I was wrong about you. He said out loud to him. Naruto, with the help of Nell and Yoruichi, turned around to face the old man. It's alright. Hell, I was wrong about you Soul Reapers for the most part. I thought that none of you had any honor when I first came here. You and the other captains proved me wrong. He smiled. Naruto saw a flash and someone was behind the head captain. Huh? Connection complete. May I have your attention please, all captains, vice captain, and seated officers. And also the humans. This is Squad 4 Vice Captain Isane Katetsu with an emergency announcement, please listen carefully as it will not be repeated and is absolutely true. Aizen? Naruto yelled. He completely forgot about the traitor. Yamamoto looked behind him to see the dead captains raise his blade. I can't pass up this opportunity. Aizen said then brought down his blade. Aizen? Naruto still in his ultimate form, charged the traitorous captain behind the head captain. Yamamoto looked behind him to see the dead captains raise his blade. I can't pass up this opportunity. Aizen said then brought down his blade. The sound of sword cutting through flesh was heard all around the Soul Society. Aizen had cut into head captain Yamamoto's neck. Thank you Naruto. Aizen dodged Naruto's razor-sharp claw. For that golden opportunity. Jin soon appeared next to Aizen. Then with an unknown ability the both of them were gone. Arg! Naruto roared in anger. It didn't take long for Naruto to find them. They went back to the execution site. In the blink of an eye Naruto was there again to face Aizen and kill him. Only this time he wasn't alone. He had Jin and the captain of the 9th squad. You think that you two buddies are going to stop me from killing you Aizen? I've been around for over 1,000 years and faced creatures far greater than you and your goon squad. Die Aizen. Naruto charged up his ultimate zero. I wouldn't do that Naruto. Aizen said calmly. Jin showed Naruto Rukia right behind him. The RRRRR, coward. You claim to be strong, but only the weak use hostages. Naruto yelled. Or the smart. Aizen said. Then, behind him a large black portal opened up and 10 figures in white came from it. All of the Espada had been summoned. Your Espada are not strong enough to bring me down Aizen. I know all about them, remember? Naruto growled. Naruto saw that Aizen had something on his arm. Then, without warning he dove his arm into Rukia. Naruto was about to charge when the 10 Espada got in his way. Naruto, at full power, swatted the Espada like flies. Then Jin and Tosen came to fight Naruto. They last a full second longer than the Espada. Naruto swatted Jin aside, then used 2 of his tails to grab Tosen. One tail grabbed the top half, while the other grabbed the lower half of him. Aizen's slave. Naruto tore him in half. His blood stained Naruto's white armor. Such a gory way to kill someone Naruto, don't you think? Aizen said calmly. I wouldn't know Aizen. But neither would you. I know, let me tear you in half so we can find out. Naruto said in a rage. Thanks for the offer Naruto, but I'll pass on that. Aizen smiled. Oh, but Aizen, I insist. He said. Sorry, but I have to go. He looked up as several Jillian came from a tear in the sky. Then 2 negation, 1 for Aizen and 1 for Jin came down to rescue them. Maybe we'll meet again White Fox, he said smoothly. Naruto looked up at the weak Jillian. As the Majesty Vast O Lord Forsaken of Mundo, I order you to release them now. Naruto yelled. Then as Naruto commanded, the Jillian released their hold on Aizen and Jin. Dropping them down back to the ground. Shock showed on Aizen's face. Why so surprised Aizen? Only a vast O Lord of noble rank or in a ranker can resist my will upon them. It's the only reason why your Espada pets haven't turned on you. Naruto charged up his zero again. Only for Aizen to flash step behind the one target he knew Naruto wouldn't destroy to get to him. Behind Tia. Tia wasn't all that surprised that Aizen would hide behind her. No, she was surprised when Naruto stopped his attack. He was a mere few seconds away from destroying his enemy Aizen. Then why would the most powerful being in this world stop his attack? It's time for us to go. Aizen said as Ulquiorra made a garganta late enough for the group to go through. We'll see each other again Naruto real soon. As well as you, human boy. Aizen said to Ichigo. So, you allied yourself with the Hollows. Why? Asked the captain of the 13th squad Jashiro. No one stands at the top of the world. Not you, not me, not even the gods. But the unbearable vacancy of the throne in the sky is over. From now on I will be sitting on it. Aizen Tosen said weakly, wondering why Aizen is leaving him there. The garganta closed leaving Tosen at the limited mercy Naruto had for traitors. You're a fool Aizen. Even I, with the power I have, dare not try to become a god. The throne in the sky as you call it is occupied. Who no one will ever know, but you trying to dethrone that being is as likely as an ant killing me. No one, be them Soul Reaper, human, hollow or otherwise, can ever hope to be a true god. Naruto explained. And you trying to be one is a waste of life. As you succeed in doing is taking others with you to their doom, and I will stop you before you can even get close to being a god. Aizen. Naruto looked Aizen in the eye before the portal closed. Tosen. Tosen heard his name get called. He could feel his life fading. Tosen, why? Tosen heard his friend Kamamura ask him. I follow the path of least bloodshed, that is the path to peace, he weakly said. Foolish man. Naruto said in his sealed normal form. Aizen doesn't give a damn about peace, you fool. All he cares about is power to become a god. He used you then ditched you. Knowing that you'll die within minutes of him leaving you here to rot, so you couldn't say anything to us in terms of his numbers and power. But I have no fear of that. Nell's information may be 100 or so years old, but yours isn't. Naruto walked to the dying man. Naruto, wait. Orihime stopped him. This isn't you. You need to let go of your hate. You're a kind person. Not a bloodthirsty monster. Naruto took a deep breath as he calmed down. No, this isn't me. Just the side I left behind so very long ago. However, he looked at Tosen. I will have your information about Aizen. I will never give it, Tosen weakly said. You won't have a choice in that matter. Sir Naruto. Naruto, Orihime and Nell looked behind them. A member of Squad 2 knelt before them. Captain Retsu has requested you. It's about the head captain. He said grimly. Naruto nodded. Orihime, keep this traitor alive long enough for me to get the info I need on Aizen. He told her. Nell, stay with her. He then used Echo Flash to head the dying energy of the head captain. Nell. Can I ask you something? Orihime asked her friend. In a strangely serious manner. Sure, Orihime. She gave a big smile. Her first in a little while. Did you do something with your hair? She asked. Nell smiled. She noticed. Yep. Naruto did at least. She finished. But Naruto. Naruto was there quick as a flash. He appeared next to Retsu. Who was strangely a good few yards away from the head captain. Retsu, shouldn't you be healing him? He asked. The wound is too great for me to heal. When I told him that he sent for you and that no one is to be near him unless it's you. She said to the blonde. Naruto nodded. Send for Orihime. She can heal it. This raised an eyebrow at that. Not to disregard your healing abilities, Captain Retsu. Orihime has an ability no one else has. Let's leave it at that. Just send for her. He told her as he walked up to the head captain. Even if he was no healer, he felt the wound that Aizen did was bad. Naruto, he said weakly. Before I go, there is something I should tell you. First, you were a strong and worthy foe, more worthy than any other. He managed to say. And the same to you, old man. But don't worry about dying. Once Orihime gets here she can. No, her power won't work on me. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Old man, Orihime isn't your typical healer, you know. I know of her power. I've known since she was born in the human world, and in any other circumstance her power to heal me would work. But this is different than any other wound. Allow me to tell you why not that even Aizen knew. I am entrusting to you, Naruto, the greatest secret that the head captain has. Head Captain Yamamoto's words were weak, but were important. He whispered to Naruto his greatest secret. Orihime arrived soon after. Naruto. She tried to run to his side, but he stopped her with his hand. Everyone leave the area, he looked at them. Now. He put some of his power behind his voice that shocked everyone and forced them all to leave. He gave a look to Orihime. The look said, I'm sorry I yelled at you. Everyone did leave. Then soon after a bright light enveloped the area. Everyone covered their eyes so they won't go blind from the light. After a minute or so, Naruto walked over to Orihime and Nell, along with the Soul Reaper they were with. The head captain has perished. He said solemnly. Orihime looked sad, as did the fourth captain Retsu. He walked past them both. Naruto. I'll be alright. When you spend 800 some odd years hating a guy, then fighting him in a death match only to come out on top but still respecting him. It's hard to think that he's gone. He smiled. But I still need to pay a visit to Tosen. He still needs to give me what he knows. Naruto said with a tone that left no room for argument. How do you intend to do that? He won't live long enough for you to interrogate him. Asked Retsu. I won't need to interrogate him. I have a much easier method. Naruto gave a smile. Time skip. Every Soul Reaper from Captain to no-name Reapers were busy with repairing the damage that was done to them. The damage that can be repaired, that is. In the captain's meeting, what's left of them anyway, they were discussing who should lead them now. No one could decide. A few of them wanted the post of head captain. Like that sick demented clown Mayuri. Or like Itachi, he wanted to be the leader for one reason. So he would lead the Soul Reapers in an all-out assault against Aizen. The rest didn't want either of them to be the new head captain, but they either didn't want to themselves or didn't feel like they could. Retsu felt that she didn't have the killer intent as she was more a healer than a fighter. Hashirama felt he was too young for such a thing. That and he could barely keep Ranjiku in check, how can he do it to an army of Soul Reapers? Shunsui was far too lazy. Amamura felt he was unworthy of such a post. As did Soi Fon. The only one who felt he could was Yoshiro. But he didn't think he was wise enough to do it. Everyone lacked at least one quality that head captain Yamamoto had that made him the head captain. Other than the sheer magnitude of the power he had. Other than power, the head captain had knowledge, battle experience, strategic skill on an unparalleled level, and the wisdom to know how to use it to its fullest effect. Surely I am most qualified to be head captain. I can make this a better place for everyone. The demented clown Mayuri said. Sure. If by a better place you mean a graveyard of your sick funked up experiments, Mayuri. I'm more qualified to be head captain. As I am one of the stronger captains here. Kenpachi said. All you would succeed in doing is sending many young soul reapers to their deaths with your way of life. Jashiro said. Kenpachi scowled. So, in this world only the strong survive. The arguing continued. Until the double doors flew open. But it is the strong that protect the weak, which allows them to grow strong. For even the strong will fall in time. No matter how strong they seem to be. It was Naruto, with Nell to his left flank and Yoruichi on his right flank. And with time. The weak grow strong, honoring the strong that made room for them and gave them the time to become as such. Naruto continued. That is what being a leader and a person of true strength means. Naruto finished. Naruto's words were deep. To the non-bloodthirsty sadistic captains of the group. Even Shunsui looked awake at his words. This is a captain's meeting, boy. You have no right to. Mayuri's eyes widened as he fell to his knees. If I have no right. Naruto walked up to him. Then why are you on your knees before me? He asked, looking down on at Mayuri. Then he walked past him like he was unimportant. Then why are you here? Asked Retsu. Simple, to lend you my aid and take command temporarily. He said smoothly and stood where the head captain used to. That's insane. Madness. Unacceptable. Those were just a few of the outcries. Oh? Is that so? Then tell me. Who here has the fortitude to challenge this? I only wish to take the lead, for now. Until someone else can take the place of the head captain. He looked around. None of them could face him in one-on-one. He knew it. They knew it. All that was left was for them to back down on this and let him take charge. For now. You are not a Soul Reaper. You cannot be the head captain of the Soul Society. Soi Fon said. I am half Soul Reaper. So I do qualified. But if any of you wish to challenge this. I know of a way to do so. What do you have in mind? Asked Kenpachi. The match, what else? Follow me. And I'll prove to you that none of you can be the head captain. Naruto walked out with Nell right next to him. Yoruichi chose to snuggle up to Soi Fon. Every captain followed Naruto outside. Their vice captains soon followed. Some were a little afraid on what he might do. They followed them to the execution hill. Ichigo, Orihime, Chad and Uryu followed out of curiosity. Naruto smirked. Now then. 3 of you captains will face Nell here. In 3-on-1 fight to show you just how powerful some of Aizen's espada are. Any objections? Ichigo was the first to speak up. Isn't 3-on-1 an unfair fight, Naruto? Especially with Nell. Naruto looked at Nell, then at the captains. You're right, Ichigo. The match will be 4-on-1. He stated. Ichigo and Uryu face faulted. Naruto, that's even less fair. Ichigo yelled. Oh? Should I make it 5-on-1? I want it to be as fair as possible to the captains. Let me know if I'm not. Naruto said, as if a 4-on-1 match was fair on Nell. But, aren't you worried for your friend? She'll be killed. Kamamura asked. Still holding a grudge at Naruto for slaying Tosen. No. Unless it was all 8 of you fighter her, I have no fear of her dying. Getting hurt maybe. He said without a care in the world. Naruto saw that his words hurt the pride of just about all of the Soul Reaper captains. How could you denounce the power that we Soul Reaper captains have? No one, but you, has the power to take on all of us at once. Toshiro yelled. Aizen dos, Naruto said flatly. Aizen has the power to face all 8 of you and win. Even if Ichigo and his friends help you, as they are now, none of you stand a chance at facing Aizen. And I'm going to prove it. Even as she is, Nell can't beat Aizen 1-on-1. As of now, the only other person that could have faced Aizen 1-on-1 was the former head captain. And he is dead. Now let's get on with this challenge so I can prove it to you. 4 of you step forward to face Nell. I don't care who. He said finally. Uryu walked up to Nell. Are you worried about getting hurt, Nell? He asked. No. She said in a playful manner. Be careful, Nell. I don't want you to get hurt. Orihime said. Don't worry, Orihime. Nell hugged her. Much to Shansui's happiness. The only one that can beat me in a one-on-one other than Naruto is Ichigo. So unless one of them is fighting me I'll be fine. She said. But when this is over I'm going to be hungry. So can I have some of your yummy home-cooked food? She asked. Ichigo, Chad and Uryu paled. They all had one thought on their mind. NaruHarem's home cooking is good. Nell. Yes, Naruto. Get ready. I'll even help NaruHarem with the meal when you're done. He smiled. Really? Naruto nodded. Nell echo flash and was now high in the sky above the Sirte. Ready. She yelled. Naruto looked at the 8 remaining captains and Yoruichi. If no one else will do it then I will. Soi Fon was the first to face the challenge. Hey kitty captain, want a rematch? Nell yelled, asked Toshiro. Everyone looked at Toshiro. Ranjiku giggled a bit. Fine, I'm in. But when we win you have to stop calling me that. He yelled. Okay. Nell said childishly. Then gave a devilish smirk. A smirk so devilishly evil that Naruto himself almost shivered. Almost. But when you lose not only do I get to keep calling you that. But you have to take me, NaruHarem, Ranjiku, Yoruichi and Soi Fon out shopping. She yelled back. Toshiro paled. He was whiter than his hair. Ranjiku and Yoruichi had a smirk. Hoping that Nell would win. I shall join in as well. In order to prove that the Sirte captains are not weak. And also to help Toshiro not be called such a degrading name. Kamamura stepped forward. Thank you Captain Kamamura. I'll fight too. This could be fun. Kenpachi said with his twisted smirk adoring his face. Very well. Get ready. The 4 of the flash step and a 4-point diamond around Nell. Nell. Naruto yelled to her. Yes Naruto. She looked at him. Suppress the side of you that is merciful. Show them the power that Aizen will unleash on them. Show no mercy. She took a breath very well. The voice that Nell used that time changed. The happy carefree voice they are all used to was long gone. That voice was that of a cold-blooded killer. You'll need more room if you're going to fight up there. He said. She nodded. You're right. She raised her right hand in the air and pointed her finger up. Grand Ray Zero. A yellowish beam of unlimited energy fired into the air. It traveled at a speed that marveled the captains both about to fight her and not. As well as everyone else other than Naruto. Naruto had felt that her power was coming back to full force and right before they left he made sure that fact was so. She was once again at full power. Even stronger than she was before she was in Espada. No. Now she was stronger than most if not all of the Espada. No doubt stronger than any of these captains. He would bet his life on that simple little fact. Begin whenever you're ready captains. Play greatest battle music of all times. Treachery. Only Kenpachi didn't shiver when they heard her voice. Kenpachi didn't stop grinning like an idiot. Nell drew her sword. Come her dead-like voice echoed. NaruHarem didn't like it one bit. Kenpachi was the first to attack, he brought down his blade with all his might. He still had on his eye patch. He brought it down and it hit her shoulder. She didn't bother to move. At first Kenpachi grinned. Then his dull sword broke. Is that it? She asked. You still have your eye patch. Remove it and try again. It might even cut through my coat. Her rancor coat was fixed up. Naruto fixed it before they left. Haha, I haven't had a fight I could enjoy since Ichigo fought me. Now. He tore off his eye patch and his spirit energy skyrocketed. Soi Fon didn't wait as she attacked next. She attacked from behind. Right before she made contact Nell dodged using Echo Flash. Being fast means nothing if your foe is faster than you. She told Soi Fon. Back off, she's mine. Kenpachi again attacked her. Only for his blade to bounce off her. Your power is feeble. You'll never defeat me like that. She said unmoving and uncaring. She looked at the captains. Unleash your Shikai or even your Bankai or this fight won't last that long. She told them. I won't need either. Kenpachi tried again to attack Nell. Nell used Echo Flash to dodge. Or so it looked like. A large cut along Kenpachi's chest formed. Blood rushing out of it like a destroyed dam. He almost looked shocked. Why so shocked? She said while right behind him back to back. You think by wielding a blade and being powerful to boot would make you strong? When your power fails what will you do? She asked. You and he are so much alike. Trying to be the best when you know that is impossible to do. She slightly turned around and in the moment another cut formed on his back. You will always be beneath Naruto, Aizen and myself. Know that, Welsh said heartlessly. Sting all enemies to death. Suzumabachi. Roar Tenkin. Reign over the frosted heavens. Hiyori Meru. You mind if I step in? Shunsui asked as he appeared next to the other captains. No. Nell said. Flower Wind Rage and Flower God Roar, Heavenly Wind Rage and Heavenly Demon Sneer. So it had become a 5-on-1 after all. Although, Kenpachi isn't going to get up anytime soon. Naruto said out loud. Wrong. Naruto looked at the little pink-haired girl. Kenny is just starting to have fun. You'll see. He'll be up and about in no time. Naruto nodded at the girl's unbreakable faith she seemed to have in Kenpachi. He wondered shy. That little girl was the only thing Kenpachi seemed to care about other than fighting. He looked back at the fight. He was about to get started. Nell hold nothing back, he left that statement hanging. She nodded. Very well, then allow me to show the power I now possess. She slowly was undoing her white coat. Toshiro was starting to blush while Shunsui was starting to smile a bit. This got a tick mark from Naruto. Even in the afterlife there were perverts. Nell tossed her coat, only to reveal two things. One, she was wearing a sports bra, much to the dismay of Shunsui, and she had a big 3 burned in her back. Nilil to a Dershvink. Former 3rd Espada of Aizen's Arankar army and former vassal lord of Ukimundo. Created by Aizen over 100 years for the sole purpose of destroying the Soul Society. She told them. As I was told to not hold back, she raised her blade. Declare. Hashiro's eyes widened. Bankai. He yelled. The other captains that haven't seen Nell in action were confused about his action. The Musahi words echoed across the Soul Society. Her purple-colored spiritual pressure skyrocketed. All vice captains and below were on their hands and knees trying to breathe. When her spiritual pressure hit a balancing point, everyone was alright once again. Her Zanpakuto had turned into something that resembled a lance. It looked like it would spin if thrown, and it had no sharp edges, so it had no slashing power. That looks like a shikai. Is this the power of an Arankar? Asked Ishiro. Arankar? No, I'm something else entirely now, Nell said with a dull look in her eye. Flashback visored warehouse. No, not that, something far easier than that. This got everyone's attention. I need your help with a ritual. A ritual? What kind of ritual, Fishcake? Asked Mishiro asked. A ritual that will allow me to turn Nell here from Arankar to Forsaken. Then flashback. That's right. Before we came here I did a ritual on Nell with the help of the Vizards. Before it would have taken 2 captains at full power to defeat and kill Nell. Considering that the Soul Society haven't had a good fight in a while. However, I knew that that would not have been good enough to face Aizen, Jin Tosen or the Espada ranked 0 to 3. The ritual was simple. I gave her a little bit of my power so she could become a Forsaken. Although her lance has become very powerful. It'll be some time before she can use her released form again. Naruto thought. Naruto watched as she just dodged the 4 captains' attacks. None even got close to her. But she is far stronger than any one captain or Espada can give. Nell again dodged another attack from the captains. It's time. Toshiro's blood froze. Lance at her Verdi. Nell threw her lance at Soi Fon. Dodge Captain Soi Fon. Toshiro yelled. Knowing full well what that attack can do. Soi Fon took that advice to heart and dodged the attack. She smirked, now their opponent was unarmed. Soi Fon, it's coming from behind you. Kamamura yelled in shock. Soi Fon looked behind her and saw that it indeed was coming at her once again. She did a spin to dodge as she had no time to anything else. But it still managed to graze her side. Making her bleed. However, it was now rushing at Nell, Soi Fon smirked. But that smirk left when Nell raised her right hand and her lance stopped in midair, but it didn't stop spinning. To make up for Gamuza's lack of ability to stab. Gamuza is thrown and spins so it can do maximum damage. However, then that begs the question, what do I do if my opponent managed to dodge my attack? The answer was simple. Control. Control my lance as it is in the air. Allowing me to continue my attack. She fired her lance again, but this time at Toshiro. Toshiro was caught off guard by the lance's speed. He only managed to dodge it by an inch. However, he didn't take his eyes off it. That's a mistake you can't make when facing Aizen, Nell said from behind him. A large gash formed on Toshiro's back. He fell a little as blood leaked from his back. Nell's left hand was soaked in blood. Bankai. Kamamura yelled. Seeing Toshiro's ice being cut right through like it wasn't even there. Kamamura's Bankai giant formed behind him. I've heard of your Bankai. Nell also seemed to form behind him. It grants you great strength and durability. However, Nell flicked her wrist and her lance hurtled toward the giant. Kamamura only had time to raise his blade to defend against Nell's lance. But the spin combined with the amount of power it accumulated, it pierced right through his giant's blade and body armor. Making a small hole in Kamamura. Nell pointed her finger from behind Kamamura. Bala, the small bullet like Zero pierced the fox-like Soul Reaper captain. Making another hole in the captain. Nell then used Echo Flash to appear next to Soi Fon, readying another Bala. Only for Soi Fon to strike with her Shikai and hit Nell dead center of the chest. Then she pulled her hand back for another, then hit the same spot. She smiled. Then her smirk fell when she realized what she had done. What? Nell said. That froze Soi Fon. You think that could kill me? In a battle between Soul Reapers, Arankar, Hollows, the Zoradan Forsaken, he or she that has the most spiritual energy will overpower any spiritual based attack, even yours. Nell backhanded Soi Fon. As a Forsaken I'll have more power and spiritual energy than any Soul Reaper captain other than the head captain. I've ascended to the rank of Nobel Forsaken. One rank below Naruto as he is the Majesty Forsaken. She told any who listened. Bushmguma. Nell looked behind her and saw that was trapped by Shunsui's ability. Well, that will keep you entrapped for a bit. Shunsui said. Lanzator Verdi. Nell yelled from the vortex of wind. Nell's lance came back to her side and destroyed the barrier that trapped her. You'll need to do better than that, she said in a dead-like voice. Oh, do you seem to forget that this is a 5-on-1. Shunsui said. Although I don't like to fight pretty young women. Nell's eyes widened as she raised her lance to block a sword from Kenpachi. Kenpachi was bloody and smiling. Akajim Tenjin Mim. Nell saw the shadow of Kamamura's giant bringing down its sword upon her. She kicked Kenpachi away and then blocked the sword with her lance. Uncho Tsurara. Nell looked behind her and saw Toshiro fire around a dozen ice dragons. Nell used Echo Flash to dodge one after another. Ahaha, this is fun. Nell blocked another strike from Kenpachi. She then looked behind her to see Soi Fon charge her. Nell knocked Soi Fon out of the way and blocked Toshiro's sword. I thought you were done for, then her eyes widened slightly in realization. Oh, you must have used yours Anhyo Ninjo. It was Toshiro's turn to widen his eyes. How? He asked. Naruto told me. She forced him away. She turned to Kenpachi once again as he was about to bring down his sword on her. She just stabbed him in the gut before he brought it down. Why is it that you insist on acting like a mindless beast? She asked the man. You claim to be a Soul Reaper, yet you act like a mindless hollow freshly born. You're nothing more than a hollow, playing as a Soul Reaper. She pulled her lance out and knocked him down. The crash made on the ground, it didn't look like he would get up anytime soon. She turned to face Kamamura. You claim to be above hollows, so why scorn the Soul Society and its protectors? He asked her. Protectors? Nell asked. You're nothing more than a mercenary base camp. That place Central 46 orders you to do something and you do it. If they said Aizen was innocent, you'd either believe it or not contest it. You follow people who have no right to lead. As only those who fight have a right to lead others who fight alongside them. Nell told the captain. Kamamura scowled. Corrupt in power, Nell stated. That is all that this place represents to me and Naruto. Nell put her left hand to the top right of her head. Allow me to show you the power I've gained. Nell then put her mask on. It was her old centaur helmet, but it covered her face instead. Now come Soul Reapers. Nell's hollow voice was laced with power behind it. Kenpachi came once again and attacked her from behind. Nell only raised her lance to block it. Will you fall already? You're getting annoying. She yelled at the Juggernaut man. AHHH. Nell looked in front of her, Kamamura was bringing his giant's blade down upon her. She twisted her wrist and blocked that as well. Amazing Captain Jashiro was commenting on how Nell was holding off two of the strongest captains in the Soul Society at once with one hand. Nell looked to her left and saw Soi Fon about to attack with her Suzumabachi. Nell just grabbed her wrist with her spare hand. This shocked Soi Fon. AHH. Nell looked to her right and saw Toshiro charging at her. He raised his blade arg. Nell planted her foot in his stomach. My turn. Shunsui said as he too attacked Nell. Nell looked behind her to the right. She moved Soi Fon and then planted her other foot into Shunsui. But not his stomach. Off. His eyes widened in massive amount of pain. All of the captains, save for Toshiro as he looked like he was going to puke and Shunsui who looked like he was going to pass out or cry, maybe both, were struggling with Nell for dominance. Zero shock wave. Nell blew all of the captains away from her. All of the captains were blown away from Nell in a 5-pointed star formation. Is that all? She asked. How? How is she so strong? What's scarier still is that Aizen is stronger than me. I dare not face him one-on-one as he would defeat me. Not because of his absolute hypnosis, no, because he's strong. Nell saw that all of the captains' eyes were widened in fear. They couldn't seem to get a good hit on her, and she claimed that Aizen was stronger than her. And try to defeat me, show me the power of the protectors of the Soul Society. She said, taunting them. I have an idea. I just need you guys to hold her in one spot for a bit. Captain Toshiro said to his fellow captains. They all nodded. I hope you know what you're doing, Captain Toshiro. Kamamura said. So do I, Captain Kamamura. Why does the brat get to have all the fun? Kenpachi asked. Because, our strength has not enough to beat her. Not yours, not mine, not Captain Shunsui or Captain Kamamura. Soi Fon told Kenpachi. Yeah, sure. Let's go Kokage Tenjin Mim. Well, I guess if I must. More fun for me. I'll just beat the hell out of her before that brat can do anything. All four captains charged Nell. Nell didn't know what they were planning. Just that Toshiro had a plan. Your plan won't work. I know everything you do. I know every move you know. Naruto has told me everything that you can do to me. Nothing you have can reach me. Nell used Echo Flash to block, parry and all manner of defensive tactics against the captains. When Kamamura brought down his giant sword she blocked it and moved to the next captain before they could swarm her. Shunsui would use his strength and speed to match her, but she was far faster than him. Soi Fon also tried to do the same with hit and run tactics. Except none of her hit worked against her, so all she did was run. Kenpachi nothing he did worked as all he did was swing a sword. It was time to end this little match. Everyone back away. Nell heard Toshiro yell. She could see why, she saw many water pillars surrounding her. Not this again. Didn't you learn your lesson yet? I overpowered this while holding back. She raised her lance in the air. What makes you think an ice flower formed on her lance? Her eyes widened in surprise. I don't know how, nor will I ask right now. But somehow Naruto knows all of our moves and abilities. So he knows how to counter all of them. So he then told you. Nell saw that more ice flowers formed on her. So I thought what is it I can do that she doesn't already know? It would seem that you or Naruto can't read minds otherwise you'd be able to counter this. If you knew all of my skills and can predict what I can do. So the only way to counter that is to be unpredictable. So I combined my 1000-year ice prison and my frozen heaven 100-flower funeral. Nell was almost completely covered from head to toe in ice flowers. It's over. He turned his blade a bit. The water pillars closed in and froze over. The hundreds of ice flowers flowed from the ground and encased Nell even farther in the ultimate ice prison. Freeze forever in my eternal frozen heaven's ice flower prison. He said to her. I must say I am impressed. Naruto said from the sidelines. Nell. NaruHarem yelled. Afraid of losing her friend. You moron. Nell's frozen in a block of ice because of your challenge. Ichigo yelled. Don't be a fool Ichigo. Huh? Out of every Soul Reaper here you are the only one that has any chance in hell of defeating Nell. Those 5 captains merely pushed her farther than I first gave them credit for. For that only I am impressed at Toshiro though outside the box. Naruto smiled. However. Back up with the fight. Mama, that was troublesome. Shunsui said relaxed. Man, what a cheap way to win. Kenpachi said a little down that the kid beat the green-haired girl. And war a win is a win. No matter the tactics. Soi Fon said. Yes, but she was a worthy opponent. Hashirama was breathing hard. That took nearly everything he had to pull off. But then a light from deep inside the ice prison he made shine bright. Imposable. He yelled. The ice prison was creaking. Pieces breaking off and falling to the ground. I knew that she wasn't done. Kenpachi had his smile back on. Soi Fon looked on in horror. Was this the true power of a Forsaken like she said? She had felt Naruto's power briefly, but she was facing Lady Yoruichi and was solely focused on her. I've never thought you'd bring this out of me. Bankai. Not possible. How? Oh yeah, I forgot to say that Nell also learned Bankai. Although she has no mastery of its power she can still use its raw strength. Naruto said. The flower ice prison was destroyed. There in its place was Nell. Her Bankai changed her weapon considerably. Instead of a throwing lance there was a spear and a round shield with a fox head on it. The shield was big enough to cover her whole body save for just below her knees and her head. Her spear was about 6 feet long and the tip looked like it had some slashing and piercing power to it. The tip was about a foot long of the 6-foot-long spear. The spear was silver in cover while her shield was silver with black trim. She still had her mask on. I've never thought I'd have to use this she looked at them. Her power had increased yet again. However I will do what I must. But how no one Toshiro was a loss for words. What? Did you really think you could beat me with sheer numbers and power? Nell asked. How naive. No, my understanding of the word power is far different from yours. Far different from Aizen. Allow me to teach you. What I learned about power from Naruto. Nell appeared high above Kamamura. This is what I've learned. She said with her spear raised up high. Kamamura was shocked but Kakajim Tenjin Mim. He yelled. Nell brought down her spear, the effect was instant. A deep cut from the left shoulder all the way down to the lower stomach. Kamamura's left arm was in the way of the attack and was also cut off. Kamamura suffered a great deal of pain from such a wound. But that would stop him. He attacked one last time. Nell blocked it with her shield. Hump. Then in an echo flash she was in front of him, cutting him across the chest. He felt his strength leave him as he slowly started to fall to the ground. The other 4 captains charged her in one final attempt to win. Nell did a shield bash to Soi Fon knocking her away. She then blocked Shunsui's attack with her shield and stopped Kenpachi's attack with her spear. It was a power struggle. Then. Nell looked shocked, a blade appearing in her chest. It belonged to Toshiro. He had come from behind. It's over, we've won. Toshiro said from behind her. You thought that twice now, she paused. Why should now be any different? Her voice came from far behind them. Everyone looked at where the voice came from. It came from the cliff at the execution hill. What the hell, guys? The 4 captains looked shocked at Ichigo's outburst. Until they saw that they had indeed stabbed someone. Momo. Toshiro looked at who he had stabbed in the chest. Why you? Soi Fon gave an uncharacteristic outcry of rage. Why did you do it? Shunsui yelled. You speak as if Aizen won't do the same thing, Nell replied. Then Shunsui's eyes widened and looked to where their audience is watching. His eyes widened again. Hashirama landed on the tallest building carrying Momo's barely alive body. Blood still on his face. Shiro, she used his old nickname. Why? Toshiro was still trying to comprehend what he had done. On the verge of tears, his brain finally comprehended what he had done. But instead of tears. Play greatest battle music of all times. Stand Up Be Strong, Part 1. Hashiro's cry was of anguish, pain and hate. Nell just looked on. Shunsui realized too late. Captain Toshiro, wait. Ah. Toshiro charged straight for Nell, damning all other things. You're such a child, she said in a low voice. Slash. Using Echo Flash and with a massive and powerful slash, Toshiro was stopped. Soi Fon charged next, trying to stab Nell with her Suzumabachi. Slash. 1 slash later. Soi Fon falls and is bleeding from her back. Nell behind her with her shield relaxed and to her left side, her spear outstretched to her right and her green hair waving in the wind. Kenpachi and Shunsui tried to tag team her one last time from behind. Kenpachi from above and to her right and Shunsui to her left. Kenpachi brought down his blade first, but Nell did a quick 360 spin and deflected it with her shield. The force sent Kenpachi flying away from her. Shunsui attacked at her neck quickly after. But not quick enough as Nell used Echo Flash to dodge. Slash. With 2 slashes of her spear, one to break Shunsui's guard, the other to get at him. He too fell. Kenpachi tried one last time. He would put all of his power into this one last attack. But Nell was using Echo Flash to confuse Kenpachi. He couldn't tell where she was as she was way too fast for him to keep up. Slash. Then he too was defeated. Everyone who had been watching the fight, all of the Soul Reapers, watched in awe and fear at Nell's power. For the first time Kenpachi's grin left him as he was utterly defeated. Soi Fon had a look of disbelief. Unable to come to terms that she had lost without doing anything to Nell. Shunsui had a dull look of defeat in his face and eyes. Hashirama was in utter shock. No way. He looked behind him as best he could as his body was robbed of strength. His left arm and part of his left leg was separated from his body. The 4 captains slowly fell to the ground. Defeated and bleeding from the wounds that Nell had inflicted upon them. Her shield at rest to her left side. Her spear outstretched to her lower right with the blood of her defeated foes still marrying the tip of her spear. Her green long hair blowing in the wind in victory and triumph. She gave an evil smirk. Then greatest battle music of all times. Stand Up Be Strong, Part 1. Time skip next day. Retsu worked fast. The injuries were not factual in any way, shape or form, but they were serious. Toshiro suffering the worst of it. It was with NaruHarem's help and her strange healing power that helped a great deal. Naruto had proven his point when Nell defeated the 5 Soul Reaper captains. Nell had no injuries at all, and she had defeated 5 very powerful captains. Not many as anybody could say that. The worst thing she suffered was a sore hand when she slapped Naruto on the cheek. His steel skin and all. But none of them will die or be unable to fulfill their role at captain. Retsu noticed the change in behavior that Nell did. When Naruto told her to not hold back, she was cold, ruthless and, for the lack of a better word, heartless. But when she was no longer fighting, she was back to her kind old self. Even helping her and NaruHarem heal the captains she beat. Hashiro's room. Wah. Toshiro woke up. He tried to sit up only to feel pain in his left arm and leg. He removed the covers to see that his arm and leg were in a cast. Good to see that you're awake. Hashiro snapped his head to the door. Only to find Naruto. He scowled, then his eyes widened at what he remembered. Right before he charged Naruto, he was tackled back down to the bed. Oh kitty captain, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Nell was hugging him again in her lovely breast of doom hug. Hashiro blushed at first. Then was starting to die due to lack of air. Nell, you're killing him. Naruto said in a deadpan expression. Nell's widened. Then she stopped hugging him and looked at Toshiro. She saw his soul attempted to leave his body. Oh no, I've killed him. She then was frantic. Get back in there, kitty captain soul. Kitty captain still owns Nell and friends a shopping spree. She shoved Toshiro's soul back in his mouth. He wasn't going to get out of the shopping he promised by dying. That would be too merciful. Naruto laughed a bit. Well, I see that. Dottie giggled. The kitty captain is in good hands. Wait, Naruto. Don't leave me here with her. Toshiro yelled in fright. Naruto just laughed as he went to check on the last 2 of the 5 captains. Kenpachi was the first, he just waved and that was done. Shunsui was easy, he just signed his Icha book and all was forgiven and he just left Toshiro at the mercy, caring embrace of Nell. He snickered. Kamamura was next. Kamamura still had some resentment toward Naruto for killing Tosen. Despite everything that Tosen did, despite everyone Tosen had betrayed, he was still Kamamura's friend. Naruto needed to let him know that nothing short of death would set Tosen straight, and it did, in the end. He walked in to see Kamamura in bed with a cast on his left arm. "I see you're alright, sort of." Kamamura looked at Naruto. "Yes, well, Captain Retsu is good at what she does, and that human girl, Orihime was it, she's skilled as well. They said I'll be up and about in a week or so." Then he had a look on his face like he was thinking. But that Naruto gave him a look. "Girl, Nell, her power was frightening." "I know. Nothing we did, no move tag team maneuver, nothing even got close to her. The only thing that hit her was Toshiro's new move that he made up on the spot. And even that didn't last long." Kamamura said. "Yes. And I will respect Toshiro for thinking of some so basic yet ingenious." Naruto agreed with the man there. "I have a question to ask you." Naruto looked at Kamamura. "Sure, go for it. You said when we first faced off, a person like you can't hope to face me if they cannot face themselves. What did you mean by that?" he asked. Naruto looked at him. "You helmet. You used it so no one would look at you funny. But Kamamura, you must know that you are a respectable man. No matter what you look like on the outside. Never let other people judge you for something you had no control over. If you cannot face yourself in the mirror, how can you face the enemies of the soul society that threaten it?" Kamamura thought about that. He looked back at the tiles on the roof and nodded. "I'll let you be for now. But think about what I said." The captain nodded as Naruto left. He continued to think. "I think I can face others now, Naruto." He looked at a mirror, at himself. "Because now I can face myself." Naruto walked until he found the last captain that Nell beat. Soi Fon. He purposely left the best for last. He gave a perverted giggle. Oh, who the pervy sage would be so proud of him. Going after 3 women at once. Well, 5 if you include Lisa and Tia. Lisa was a go, he just needed to find a way to spend more time with Tia and get her away from Aizen. Naruto then put a bouquet of flowers. All for his little bee. "Hello, Naruto." Naruto froze. He knew who this was. He slowly turned around as if he was going to die painfully. There was even a creaking sound as if a rusty door was closing in a haunted house. Then he was face to face with Captain of the 4th Squad. Captain Retsu. "Why hello, Captain Retsu. How are you this lovely day?" he asked as he kissed her hand. "Oh, I'm fine. But who are the flowers for?" "Not for me, I hope. You shouldn't have." She gave him a kind smile. "But of course." He handed her the flowers. "Think of it as an I'm sorry for making you work so hard these past few days," he said, handing the flowers to her. "Oh, my favorite, how'd you guess?" he asked while smelling them. "Lucky guess." He smiled back. "I conned the info out of your lieutenant. And by conned I mean I gave her the best massage of her life and she sang like a bird." "Oh, and Naruto?" "Yes. I'll expect that same massage you gave my lieutenant tonight, that's alright, right?" she asked, giving her all-inspiring smile. "Right, tonight, 10 o'clock." She nodded and walked away. Naruto sighed in relief. Then he busted out another bouquet of flowers. "I always plan ahead," he said as he went to find Soi Fon. "Room 202. Retsu said from down the hall. Naruto got at what she had said. She was truly a woman that any man would want. He would have to keep her in mind. Naruto travailed until he found Soi Fon room. When he walked in, he found Soi Fon asleep in the hospital bed, Yoruichi curled up in a ball on her chest. Naruto looked at the scene in front of him. It almost made him not funk with it and say aw. Almost. He walked to the sleeping Soi Fon and whimpered in her ear. "Soi Fon, I want you," he said in a quiet voice. Lady Yoruichi. Soi Fon grabbed Naruto's head and in an impressive display of strength, she forced Naruto to kiss her. Smooch. Flick flash. Both Soi Fon and Naruto looked at who said it. It was Yoruichi in full human naked form. "I knew you loved Naruto, Soi Fon. Now we can have a threesome like we've always wanted," she said while holding a camera. "Just wait till I post this all over the Sarate. You'll be couple of the mouth." Yoruichi had her smile. Soi Fon looked at Yoruichi. Then looked at who she was kissing. Outside the hospital. Uzumaki. For the better part of the rest of the day, you could see Soi Fon chazzing Naruto with Naruto running for his life and Yoruichi chazzing them laughing and taking pictures. So this part ends here. Alright, that's it for today's video, guys. Let me know in the comments section how was the story, and also don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I will meet you in another video. Bye bye.